All right, so now we're gonna move on to well, this is funny now, right? Because now we're gonna talk about Birds of Prey, right? And the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn,
You're right.
which today at the time of this recording has been marketed though as Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey.
Yeah, I
Yes,
hear the
I think
change. I hear the change
this is
name.
yeah, this is the real thing. So a
Yeah.
couple of movie theater chains in the United States started marketing the film as that in an attempt pretty much to get more people to watch the film.
Right.
And I kind of understand why, and this kind of leads to one of my gripes with the film, even though I kind of understand why it's done that way, but still it is kind of a gripe for me though. But yeah, this is pretty much a follow-up slash spin-off to Suicide Squad, a movie that I remember I was just being I was indifferent to. This was the theatrical cut. I was just like, yeah, it was bad, but I mean I was entertained by it, huh? But then after watching the director's cut or whatever you want to call it, I was like, yeah, this movie is really really bad. It was just
Right.
downright trash too, and it just felt like just when you thought that Batman v Superman was the beginning of the end, though, this was just a continuation of that end, though.
You're
Um,
right.
but pretty much because of the success of like the later DCU films like Wonder Woman and Shazam and Aquaman, you were like, you know what? Well, you know, if there's one thing that people actually, well, if there's one character people love from that Suicide Squad movie is Harley Quinn, right? Who was played by McGill, Margot Robbie, right? So it's like, all right, cool, let's just give her a film. But you know, in true DCEU fashion, we can't just give she a solo film just like that. You know what I mean? We have to bring in more characters, and you know, so we have the possibility of more spin-off films, right? So let's bring in more female characters. Have a female director. Her name is Kathy Yan. And let's just make a kind of unique superhero film, or you could say kind of anti-hero, anti-superhero film out of this. And yeah, this is pretty much what Birds of Prey is in a sense.
Right.
But what
Well,
is? Sorry, I was gonna say.
yeah. So Birds of Prey just based off of the classic kind of the comic of its own name. It's but it never had Harley Quinn in it. Um, yes, Huntress. Is based on Huntress, Black Canary, and Oracle, which is Batgirl, which is Barbara Gordon's Batgirl, but like they didn't have her in this because she doesn't seem to exist in this universe. But in this, they brought in another Batgirl that is Cassandra Cain, even though she don't look like that character at all. Um,
No, no, no. Yeah, I heard that was like a big criticism amongst
right,
fans of that character.
right, and then they decided to just tell this kind of weird story on its own, which is like a kind of this script that kind of more like just a kind of weak crime script involving Black Mask, and I decided to bring in Rennie Montoya, and they do all these things with it. And you get the feeling that it was a Birds of Prey script that they decided to just put in Harley Quinn after the fact in, because she was so popular in Suicide Squad. So I had a show going on there. But it's a decent enough story for what it is. It's something involving Huntress, because a Huntress backstory, which is comic accurate. And, everybody involved, and then they get into the story about it. And yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. I actually didn't think it was this bad.
All right. Well, here's the thing with me with the show. Well, what I will just say to people in general. If you generally, all right. So what keeps this thing balanced? What keeps this film balanced? And what will keep it balanced for you is your tolerance for the character of Harley Quinn. If you
Right.
generally hated that character from Suicide Squad, I know there are people out there that hate that character with a vengeance, then you will not like this movie at all because, yes, it is pretty much Margot Robbie being Harley Quinn. But at the same time, too, because, you know, she's more than just looks and whatnot, um, she does bring a sense of vulnerability to her character, a sense of like like she has gone through a lot. You know what I mean? And you could tell that just her doing all the shenanigans stuff is just kind of like her way of releasing it in a sense. You know what I mean? So it's not so much that you have to kind of side with her. You know what I mean? Because yes, she does some illegal stuff, quote unquote. But at the same time, you can understand why she is who she is. Because I mean, she was with the Joker, right? So yeah, think about that for a bit. But yeah, the movie itself pretty much is based on your love-hate relationship with her. And because I just generally like Margot Robbie as an actress and just what she brings to the table, I
Right.
enjoyed it for what it was, though. Even though it is problematic, I'll state why in a bit. I still enjoyed it for what it was. I still appreciated what it is they went for. And what I would say though before just jumping into the things I like or what they like, I do see this being like a potential cult classic. I do see this as a show that
Yeah.
people will go back to years from now and be like, we had this wrong, because why I say this because right now, apparently it has like the lowest opening of any DCEU movie. It's a shame.
Right.
I don't know if it has to do with the fact that it came out in February. Maybe that's the main reason.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
bad timing. I would argue the Oscars is a big factor as to why it kind of mess up. Like it just is a bad weekend. It's
yeah,
just yeah, it's just bad timing. I think not. I expected it to do a little better, but I didn't expect it to do as good as people are saying it was. So I was expecting about a 40 million. But people are saying no, it's about 60 million or something like that. It's like no, I think I'll make the 60 million. It's just the wrong time and wrong month. The American election throwing off everything, so nobody is going to see this. I wasn't
right,
expecting
right,
just
right.
yeah.
Yeah. And then another thing too, although personally I don't want to get too deep into it though, because I'm sorry, I'm just a guy. People kind of call it out for its feminist themes, I guess, or its
Yeah.
approach to the storytelling and subject matter, which I will address somewhat, but I can't really fully agree with that though. Like yes, it is, woman power and female empowerment and all that kind of stuff,
Right.
but I don't think it's all 100% that, right? Even though it's
No,
kind
like
of touted as that.
yeah. No, they tell this story in that sense. I mean, there is a lot of that. I mean, it's about women, right? All these women have to, in one way or the other, get from under, some man fucking them over.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
they just tell a story. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody really have a problem with a particular ideology one way or the other. The thing is, you have to really organically put it into a story. And that's the
yeah,
problem with a lot of people just want to just didactically tell it out, and you don't really get that with this. I thought it was just it's clearly political and it's clearly trying to tell this message, but you form a story around it and you form a proper narrative that makes some sense for what it was. So
right,
yeah, I was fine with all of that, and that's
yeah,
comic. That's in the story. That's part of the
right,
comic,
right,
especially
yeah,
Punchy story. No,
yeah, exactly. All right,
yeah,
so good stuff that I liked about it. Well, for one thing, Margot Robbie, she shines through and through
right.
as Harley Quinn. She didn't annoy me as much, even though she does some kind of, I don't want to say dumb stuff, but just stuff where I can imagine somebody next to me gonna be like, ugh, be like, oh gosh, man, like, why are you being so obnoxious now? You know what I mean?
Right.
But it just fits her role so much now. And then, like I said before, it's just who she is. You know what I mean? It's not like she exists to be obnoxious, but she does it in a kind of way to get back at someone or something, right? But I thought that the cast itself was solid, even though personally I just wish that just a few characters were given a bit more screen time. And well, I'll get into characterization in a bit too, 'cause I think that's where the film kind of falters, right? I thought that, well, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who plays Huntress, she was solid. I didn't expect to see her as this
Yeah.
as this badass vigilante of sorts, you know what I mean? But yeah, she sold it, yeah. And on the subject of that, right, it's so ironic that she in this movie here, because yeah, this movie came out in 2020, and 10 years ago she was a little movie that became a cult classic, which was a flop in the box office, but I still think it's a great movie called Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, this show has certain allusions, and mainly in terms of just how flashy the visuals are. I mean, there's a lot of like, like just spontaneous, flashes of text and whatnot. It's very, meta. It's very like how Deadpool was. You know what I mean? But it works. So it works in terms of the tone and the feel of the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, but she was great in this though. But I just wish that she had more screen time though. And it's funny also too because she just had the best backstory because it was just mainly like a traditional, oh well, she's out for revenge, but the way how they presented, even though it
Yeah.
kind of switches tones ever so often, but I thought it worked. It
Right.
kind of has this Tarantino style to things, especially with the music that they use for the montages involving her come up now. You know what I mean? But I was
Right.
like, yeah, like she have the best backstory of anyone in this though. But still, you hardly see any film though, and I just wish that they incorporated her more instead of just, oh, I'm just out to find this person to exact
Well,
this score because even though I know it's
yeah,
in the comics now.
yeah. As I say, I think it really felt like a birds of prey script that they put Harley Quinn in after, and it ended up Harley Quinn ended up sucking out all the oxygen from them. No?
Right.
Because I remember for a hot minute they were supposed to do a birds of prey script that had no Harley Quinn, right? As it
Yeah, I
does.
remember. I remember.
Exactly. So I get a feeling that they take that script and they just put in it's the same script like, but they tone down her story, even though she is the center of the story. Like
She is,
it's
yes.
her story, it's her family. The diamond is about her and her fortune.
Right.
So I thought they would do a little more with her now, but it like they couldn't fit the spaces. But decided, all right, like just tell the story as it is, and you could fill in the blanks as it is, and they didn't waste too much time on her anyway, which kind
Right.
of worked for what it is.
Yeah.
It's fine. The
Right.
character that I thought was the weakest for me was Cassandra Key.
Yeah.
Really did.
And on the subject of her, she is the one. She's this Asian girl, like a teen, right? And
Right.
she ends up, well, stealing. I was going to say acquiring this diamond that this crime family
Right.
is trying to seek, and well, the main bad guy, Black Mass or Roman Sionis, played by Ewan McGregor. He's the one who's trying to get that from her, basically. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a simple enough plot. As I say, I do. Because they went for so cheap with it, and they decided to just go with this kind of no sort of special effects, just a lot of choreography stuff, which some of it worked, some of it was okay, a lot of it was kind of overdone. I felt.
Yeah.
They decided to
Yeah,
just make it
you're
all
right. I'll admit though, like while I did really dig the fight choreography, and I like that they were white shirts and all that. I think apparently the guy, one of the fight directors or directors of John Wick, the action director of John Wick, was involved
right,
in those fight scenes. So it was cool seeing Harley kick some ass and whatnot. But at the same time,
right, right.
kind of overuse on slow mo. Not that I don't mind it.
Well,
But
I
still the
didn't
same
have a
time is
problem
like,
with that.
okay, when you've seen it like 3-4 times, like okay, well,
Right.
every fight scene have
Yeah.
to have that slow mo stuff. Okay.
But well, my take it had too many fight scenes. Like every little encounter had to have a little bounce up, and Harley had to do something fancy to fight somebody. Like
Right.
you don't really need in this scene in this scene. You could cut that. But as I say, to me, I just felt they just had to balance the characters a little better,
Yeah.
or make it all Harley's movie. And they kind of try to have it both ways, and it didn't really work out all that well. But I enjoyed it for what it was. I didn't have a big issue with this. Again, the budget they could have probably, they could have just square up some certain characterization and slightly punch up the script a little bit, but it worked for what it was. Black Mass was good. Victor Sass was good in it. I like what they did with that. Black Mass is the kind of person that, he don't really have a particular, like he's basically like a B or C tier villain who good for just getting a plot forward. And he was perfect. I find he was kind of perfectly used in this.
Yeah.
And then they decided to get Victor Sass because Victor Sass had to be the violent person. So yeah, they get him. And the level of viciousness now. And they make it work.
Right.
I didn't hate this. It could have been better.
Yeah.
But it could have been worse, like much worse. So I dug it for
Right.
what it was.
Yeah, well, let me just kind of run through the good and bad quickly before we get to Rita, right? So, yeah, so as like I said, the cast was fine, was excellent. As you to see, Rosie Perez, she killed it as Renee Montoya. I'm really curious to see what they do in terms of her hopefully becoming the Question in a future DCU film.
Right,
Really
yeah.
curious to see that.
Right, yeah.
Cassandra Cain, because I didn't know going in that she was a Batgirl actually in the
Right.
DC Comics universe. I just saw as she's just this chick who actually has a MacGuffin that all these characters are trying to get. At first, I was
Right.
like, okay, she's just going to be this bratty character, but when she actually meets up with Harley and they kind of have this bond going on, it's like okay, this kind of works, and it works in terms of Harley's arc now. Because remember, after leaving Joker, is pretty much like her on her own, just doing stuff, getting into trouble, but which
Right.
I'll get into quickly. But now it's like okay, she has someone that she could she has someone under her wing basically that she could take care of. It's like all right, that's cool, that's cool. Journey Smollett Bell, she was great as Dinah, aka Black Canary. She had the looks down and
Right.
everything like that. She had the swag, everything. She was badass. But one thing though, and this is just once again, like you see, punching up of the script. Like I understand that this is a comic book universe, right? But essentially, all the characters, with the exception of her, don't have any powers, right? And
Right.
they
Right.
just hint twice. They show twice about her the hypersonic scream that she have, right? But the
Right, right.
second time, slight spoiler, when she uses it, because I know who she is, and I mean I watch Arrow, and we talked about Arrow last week, so last episode, sorry. So I know what she's capable of, right? But to anybody else watching this and seeing this character for the first time, they'd be like, okay, so all of a sudden she could do that out of the blue, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they never really
I
show, oh, I am so skilled in this, I could actually send out these sonic booms basically, right? But when she
right,
does, it's just like, oh, okay, well, wow, that kind of takes you out of the show for like a second. Wow, okay,
right. But
we in the
if
superhero universe now, okay, all right,
right, right. I well they hint at it and mention it, and again because you know who she is, it's like it's fine. I didn't have because to me the idea was it was just a big plot surprise. No? That's what they kind of was going for.
okay, I could
It was like, oh
live with
shit,
that,
she could
yeah,
do that kind of thing now, didn't they? It didn't
yeah,
feel out on him. I thought it was like, oh yeah, they're really trapped in a corner. They ran out of ammo, they ran out of bullets and everything. I think Huntress ran out of arrows. And it's like, yeah, they had to get past that area now. So and
yeah.
then on top it's implied that she don't practice it because she was like kind of weakened after she did it now.
Oh, right, yeah, okay,
So she
right.
don't want to do it because I think the mother also was capable of it and she didn't want to do it because I think Rennie Montero is telling her that now.
Yeah,
Um,
well, she does mention her mom and how the mom helped out the GCPD at a point in
right,
time,
right,
and right, and then she died, unfortunately, right? Yeah.
yeah,
As far as the villains go, well, I thought that Ewan McGregor, you could tell that he was having a blast playing Black Mask, right? Even in the moments, well, there is one particular moment which I don't want to spoil where I imagine some guys in particular might get turned off because, like, okay, like we know that he is, a narcissist, right? But this was the moment where it's like, dog, you just like a misogynist ass soldier, like, dog, like.
so,
And I was worried about it going a little too far. Now. Like, the show is going a certain way. This is where he just gets so pissed off he calls this girl and tells her to stand on the
right,
table and
yeah,
strip down and that kind of stuff there. And it just kind
right.
of takes you out to the show for a bit because it's so serious now. But
Well, yeah,
thankfully,
it's
it doesn't go too far. But I can imagine some people watch this and be
yeah,
like, okay, so all right, you're really like I know he's the villain, but oh gosh, man, you really gotta make him this unlikable
right,
way. Like, oh
right.
gosh, man,
Right.
like oh gosh,
Well,
man, stop it,
Black
man, come on.
so that is to me in comic with the Black Mask because Black Mask is a complete psychopath. I mean, the whole point of Black Mask is
I
that
get, I can
yeah,
understand, yeah. But I know for some people they just be like, okay, so all right, this is like Neil bashing us, so. Oh, he's bad, but he gotta be so bad that what I mean it
yeah,
gotta make you
no, that's
question your own shit.
no, that's the character. That's the character. Like that's pretty
Right.
much the character. The character is like a completely unlikable. To me, Black Mask is one of the most like even though she's not a big villain, when they have him in, it's like wow, you really hate this motherfucker, Joe. And I thought like I like what they do with me, Ian McGregor with it now. Um,
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good. Like what they did with it, I didn't hate it. It was fine.
However though, I did wish that there was a little payoff in the end though, because it just
Right.
felt like okay, there's a moment of tension and then it just just disappears. Like
That right. So that's the
after.
yeah. What I think is one of the weakest parts of the film is the tonal. They kind of get it right. So they had
Yeah,
sometimes trying to make it funny, and then they're trying to go here and then again here, and it didn't balance well. I thought. I thought it was a
right.
little clumsy when it comes to dealing with the tone and how to shift tones from point A
Yeah.
to point whatnot. But the thing is, they get
One,
two
one
of
one moment in particular, sorry, one moment in particular where you see that is the transition from the second to the third act though, where things get serious and now now Harley and well Cassandra have to go face the enemy basically. And you could see the tone just literally just shifting right in front of our eyes. You know what I mean? They
yeah
play this particular song and it's like, all right, now things getting serious. Like, okay, we was just having fun. All right. But yeah, I do agree with you. There are
yeah
some tonal shifts though, which needed some work.
right
Also it was well, okay, well, Victor Zaz, as you mentioned before, yeah, he was great. You know what I mean? He was a great assistant to the bad guy. And yeah, he was just a psycho mofo. I really dug that. But
yeah
what I wish the show did more of, especially in that third act, is the whole setup of oh well, Harley has a target on her back, so all the people who wronged her basically trying to kill her. And
right
it was like these nice moments in the first and second act when you're trying to wipe her out. But I wish though, like in the third act, okay, you just saw Black Mask and his goons basically. But it would have been cool if like more bad guys who were wronged by her came and just joined Black Mask Squad now. See, they see
Right,
like
okay.
just a variety of guys with guns and or
Right.
weapons and whatnot, and they just getting wiped out now. So at the very end, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, Harley pretty much cleaned up the whole town. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she on top. And now that work too in terms of just the character arc of, well, you know what I mean? Joker wanted to be the clown prince of crime. She could be like, I don't know, the queen basically of Gotham because she just like
Right.
wipe out anybody who came in her way. You know what I mean? Like I wish that the film did that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
and
continue.
right. So that's kind of the main crux of the situation. As I say, it felt like two scripts they mashed into one, because
Yeah,
it really felt like two movies. So it's like, so they had to square one and they had to pick one or the other, and they didn't really know how to pick a lane.
right,
So
right,
like
right.
they're
And
making this big revenge story involving Harley Quinn, and this back and forth, and oh, everybody coming after her, or you do this plot involving the Birds of Prey, and they say, all right, well, why not both? But we kind of didn't really get either, and we ended up
yeah,
picking the Birds of Prey, but that was slightly weakened by making them lose focus on Harley Quinn. I think that's kind of the main weakness, that and the tone problem.
yeah, yeah.
And I thought,
And you know, it was kind of funny at the end where it's like, well, yeah, they are the birds of prey now, but you know, at the end of the day, it's pretty much still my story. Yeah? So I thought that was kind of like funny in a way, you know what I mean? But I know it will annoy some people though. But yeah, I just wish that the show really punched up on the characterization because yes, I dug that you know they gave certain characters significant amount of screen time like Black Mask, Rennie Montoya, even Black Canary and all that too. But I felt that Huntress was to the back. Cassandra could have got a little bit more backstory here, and it's just balancing everything. You know what I mean? So the show itself kind of felt like this experiment slash balancing
yeah,
act. Like, okay, let's just take that Birds of Prey script that we had in the shelf, and let's take the Harley Quinn film that I guess people wanted because they love that character so much, and let's see what happens here. Let's see how this experiment works, and let's try to make it sort of like a 80s, trauma film. A lot of people making reference to like those 80s trauma films where it's always like, throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, basically.
right.
Kind of like this exploitation vibe, but let's add a lot of style and flash and color to it. I think just off the visuals alone, which are excellent in my opinion, yeah, this warrants it being this gives it immediate cult appeal in my opinion. Okay, yeah, I
Yeah,
can imagine people watching this in a few years from now, getting hyped.
right.
Sorry, it does look like one of those shows that can get hyped too, which is a compliment. And yeah, just enjoying the hell out of it, man. So at the end of the day, while I wish it could have been better, Dread, it wasn't as bad as really it could have been, Dread. It was unique, it was
Yeah,
different.
exactly.
You could tell that at least Warner tried something new. Um, Even though it does feel very Deadpool, but I mean, with a character like Harley Quinn, it makes sense, right? Even right down to the non-linear narrative stuff that they did in the first act, which at first I was like, okay, are we trying to be all Tarantino here? But I like how that it kind of came back to, oh, this is what the story really is about, and this is why these things that happen that you probably was wondering, oh, that's just in the background, okay, cool. Oh, that's really what's going on. So I dug that. But yeah, other than that though, not perfect, not the best show out there, but it's a step up, I guess, in the right direction as far as DCEU movies go. At least it has its own aesthetic, so I can give credit to that. Well, yeah, points for the soundtrack. Well, I have still to listen to it though. My head's really dope. And yeah, them
Yeah,
visuals, though, especially like the end title credit scene, way. Yeah, boy, they just put a lot of flash into that though. Just that end title sequence alone is cult material right here. But yeah, other than that though, rating wise, I would give this. I was thinking about it. I was going to give this a light 4, but you know what? I'll give this a strong 3.5 to a very light 4 out of 5. Man, it is worth checking out on big screen. It is worth checking out. Period though. But I would say it all depends on your likability, like your tolerance, I should say, on the character. So if that
right.
character of Harley Quinn gets on your nerves, if that character got to your nerves in Suicide Squad, yeah, skip this. But if you like the
Right.
character, you just want to see more of her shenanigans and how somehow she ends up being roped into a new Suicide Squad, which we could easily assume is the point of the whole show. Is like, okay, we're gonna do the Suicide Squad thing again, but it's just gonna be all women. But we gotta have a
Yeah,
main
yeah,
character
yeah.
that's really gonna be about her. Then yeah,
Right.
then you'll appreciate the show for that much. So yeah,
Yeah.
if you're interested, check it out. Ignore the, oh well, it feeling at the box office stuff, blah 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 blah. And yeah, check it out. If it's not for you, then cool, it's not for you. But I do see this having cult longevity, just like Skull Pilgrim versus the World. Just of the mere fact it was just trying to be something different, something new. And yeah, DCU needs to be doing that right about now. You know what I mean? So yeah, what's your last words and rating on this movie?
Yeah. As I said, this is what they Suicide Squad should have been in terms of like actual execution. It's a shame that they couldn't like hike this more or get a better. Well, the marketing campaign was okay, and I really thought, but it's just bad timing for the film release. I think they could have probably, I don't know what to do, push it back or push it up. I ain't sure, but it's a really bad weekend for it. So tough, and it was already a sequel to a film that was reviled by a lot of people, so the general public still remember Suicide Squad, I'd imagine. So that had a lot going after it. But yeah, as a rating, I give it a high CC8. Pretty good,
Right.
in my opinion, for what it is. Again, I don't really have a problem with what DC doing, smaller, cheaper film, just do a solid bat story because it just had so many great shots and moments. It's like, yeah, this is a good, good small one-run, one-off story as it is, and we don't know what they'll do going forward. But I can imagine it again. It could get legs in a second weekend. We could see, ain't sure. But people have to get it word out for those who should be fans of this. But yeah, I enjoyed for what it was.
All right, nice.